Let's take a look at a quick exercise around the having keyword. So our goal here is to take a table of phones. Once again, this table of phones has a name, a manufacturer, a price, and units sold. I'm going to remind you that spelling the word manufacturer is just a little bit tricky, and as a matter of fact, when I was putting together this exercise, I even mistyped manufacturer myself. So just double check your spelling of manufacturer anytime you write it out. Our goal here is to take a look at that table of phones and print the names of manufacturers and their total revenue for all the phones that they sold. And then we want to do a little bit of filtering here. So we only want to print the manufacturers and their revenue when that manufacturer has a revenue greater than 2 million for all the phones that they sold. Now let's take a look at this in diagram format. If you don't want to watch the diagram, no problem. Just pause the video here and give a shot at the exercise in the next video. All right, so here's our table of phones. The first thing we probably want to do is group all the different manufacturers together. So we can take a look at each manufacturer's group of phones and then run some calculation on each of those groups. So it looks like the unique values here are Nokia, Apple, and Samsung. So we would have groups or buckets of sorts of Samsung, Apple, and Nokia. And I'm going to reduce that font size just so it fits in a little bit better. There we go. So we would then take all these different rows and assign them to a different group. Well, it looks like Nokia first is going to go down into the Nokia bucket. We've then got Apple right here. And then finally, the two Samsung phones are going to go into the Samsung bucket. Now here is our grouped set of phones. As usual, we cannot directly select any of the red columns. We can only select the grouped column or any calculated column or any column that's generated by using an aggregate function. Now we need to somehow find the number of units sold and multiply that by the price, and then make sure that we only take a look at manufacturers with a total revenue greater than 2 million. So I think what we might want to do here, and what I'm about to show you here, is going to kind of give away the solution a little bit. So if you want to try this on your own, pause the video now and continue on. What we probably want to do here is some kind of calculation that will be maybe the sum of price times units sold. That's probably what we want to do. If we find the sum of price times units sold, that's going to give us the sum of this times that and this times that. We'll take price times units sold, multiply those numbers together, and then add them. So we'll then end up with a total revenue right here for the Samsung manufacturer. And who knows, maybe that's like 5 million. And then maybe Apple only has 1 million, and maybe Nokia only has 1 million as well. Now we would want to do some filter to all these different groups, and we want to discard an entire set of groups. We don't want to see Apple and Nokia at all. So we would want to somehow drop those groups out and be left with only Samsung. To do that filtering, you're probably going to make use of that new having keyword. Once you do that filtering step, just remember, ultimately you want to print out the name of the manufacturer and the total revenue as well. So make sure you print both those out. All right, so go ahead and give this a shot. As usual, we'll take a look at a solution in just a moment.